Hi everyone, this is Board Games and Bourbon. I'm Glenn Flaherty, and right now we're going to talk about Roll Through the Ages Iron Age. And when you look at this game, it is one of the least cool looking games. It looks like it was found under a bed in grandma's closet. It's left over from the 70s. It's all beige wood pieces and black and white pieces of paper. And how could this possibly be exciting? But it actually is really cool. That's the crazy thing about it. And the more I play it, the more I am appreciating the wood burnishes and stuff like this. The game is a civilization building game. It's designed by Matt Leacock of all things, and it plays out like a Euro. You're rolling dice, you're making choices. Choices are affecting other things. Maybe in a way you can think about it as an economic game, maybe as a engine building game. And it plays strongly solo because it's interesting to see how all the parts work together, but it's also fun more so as an interactive game because you can attack other people, and then you have this Mediterranean expansion, which I have, which has you fight for resources and maybe screw somebody up. Now, in short, what you're doing, you in this game get these little placards, and let's get a little closer here to the camera. So you're going to get these little wooden stakes that go in here. And basically what happens is every round you get food and you do things to get food. You have goods which you trade in for developments and things in the future. Developments are like, now I have a navy, now I can re-roll something. You have armies because you might roll die, then have you going to fight either against yourself or other people. A navy can help you do battles, and this is kind of like the bank. And when you take goods and you trade it into the bank actually increases your goods in value and helps you buy things. And what you're going to do is you're going to take these die. And with these die, you're going to roll them, and how many you roll is depending on something else. You get this pad of paper. You're going to have ports and you're going to have provinces, okay? Now, depending on how many provinces you have, that's how many die you roll. So here I have 2. So I'm going to choose 2. And how do I know I have 2 provinces? Well, I have provinces. I have 2 things circled. When I earn enough men, I cross out the little boxes, and when I fill the boxes, I therefore have a new province. Like, I actually could be on to my 3rd province, and when I complete that, if you can read what it says, it's the province right next to the 2 circled ones. It says I get +2 armies and +2 tributes. Tributes are essentially points. Armies help me do battles in the future. So I take these die and I roll them, bloop, and whatever they say is what I get. Now, in this case, I got 3 food and I got 3 men, okay? So that means I would take my counter for food. I would go up to 6. That's important because at the end of the turn, I have to feed all my provinces, and if I have 3 provinces, it's going to go 6 down to 3, okay? So I'm fed for now. With those men, what I can do is I can use them to either fill this section out and it'll give me more provinces, or I can try to fill a monument full of people and that'll give me endpoints. Like here, if I'm the first person to fill this out, I get 2. If it's over here, I get 1. If I roll, let's say, on the die and I get goods equal to how many ports I have, right? Because I'm importing goods. That will increase either my goods, which becomes money in the future, or I can take it over here to fill out the ports area, and that develops that. And so there's this thing where everything is connected through a web. Ultimately, another thing I can do is I can take goods worth 1 money, or I can roll a fire match, which is considered innovation. That's worth 3. Or if I put my goods in the bank and the bank adds interest, now they're worth 5. And I can trade those in and I can fill out these little developments. Like the number 1 says leadership. I can re-roll a die. But you also might notice next to leadership, it says it's worth 1 victory point at the end of the game. So you add those up. I might roll on my die that it says a fight here. That little soldier hat means I'm going to do something called a conquest, and that's at the bottom. And basically, if I roll and my army is larger than the amount of filled in conquest, of which there's only 1, I get to score the difference, which I did. In this case, I rolled, let's say, a 3. The difference was 2. I wrote that down as a tribute. Tribute is my scoring points at the end. I can also roll this. This is no good, or maybe it's good. I don't know. It depends on your point of view. This will give me a good, a person, but also give me a disaster. Disasters are negative points, but there's a twist to the disasters. If I get 2 disasters, it's not just a negative point. Something else happens. Okay, well, what happens? Well, luckily on these other pieces of paper they give you, they explain all the various things. Well, when you roll one skull, it's called unrest, you get a negative point. When you roll two, it's an barbarian attack. So now you're battling the board. If the board outdoes you, you lose points, or maybe you break even, or maybe you win it and you get a tribute. If you roll 3, you have a pestilence, -3, 4 skulls, -4. If you roll 5, that's really bad, it's an invasion. And then you have to fight an army worth 10, which means you're going to get a lot of negative points, okay? So those are luck of the die. You also get these other faces on this special die that's yellow, and they trigger certain things, and that's called your fate die. Under fate die, you might get extra food or a drought or the pestilence we talked about. You're going to fight. You can also get an omen over here, lets you choose what you want. And also the demand for tribute's pretty cool. That is pretty interactive, and it means the other people have to pay you tribute points, which they might do, or they might give you goods or something like that in exchange, okay? So you're rolling these die, but you're not stuck with the first roll. You get to do kind of like Yahtzee style. You get to roll them 3 times. You might, do you want to push your luck? Well, here's the deal. Every time you roll a bad die, you're stuck with it. So if you roll 2 more times, you might end up with 3 of these. So you don't know whether you want to push it, you want to take what you can. It's kind of confusing. You never know what the right answer is. You kind of develop strategies. The other thing when you're rolling men too is the men not only help you build things or get monuments, you can also go over here and you can start filling up this Mediterranean board. And essentially this Mediterranean board is kind of interactive because anyone can go here. It doesn't have to be all the same color. Like I have all purples on the top, but you could be fighting. What happens is the person who fills up the last spot on the board, like in Carthage, let's say, if you're the person to put your star there and you pay to kick others out and you complete Carthage by yourself, you're going to get the reward. In this case, Carthage gives you 3 food, but you could also go to Syracuse and get an invention. You might go to Crete and get a navy. Navy can be used during the battle. I won't get into all the details because that's going to miss the point of this video. Okay, but what you are going to do in this game is you're going to roll, you're going to push your luck. You can think King of Tokyo style, okay? And then you are going to decide how you want to balance your boards. And there's so many different ways to do it. So many. You might go for points via the monument. Maybe you're going to get your ports because that as you increase your provinces and ports, you're going to get more die in your hand, okay? And there's so many options. You can explore many different methods. I really enjoy the fighting aspect of it too. That really brings the Iron Age theme through for me. And this is a good way to encourage interaction and really making someone mad at you. The only thing you have to overcome is how incredibly dull the game looks. The design could, I don't know why they chose wood. I appreciate the wood. It keeps things tidy, but I can't say it's the most eye candy of any game I've had. Maybe it's so bland to look at that it actually draws your attention to the decision making. Maybe that's a way you can look at it. Anyway, okay, that's Roll Through the Ages. I actually recommend it. I have a feeling it'll be in print again. The game's around $20, $25, something like that. A really solid Euro game for multiple people, but also very good solo. Okay, talk to you later, everyone. Bye-bye.